So yesterday was a massive bombshell announcement with CEO Jim Ryan announcing that he'll be stepping down from his CEO role and actually retiring after 30 years at PlayStation. And this kind of had the internet all up in a roar where a lot of people think this is some of the best news they've heard in a long time. And then there are some supporters of Jim Ryan that have his back and say, hey, look, he brought us all these great games. The sales are ups, the numbers are ups. He did a fantastic job for PlayStation. And what side do I kind of stand on? I really feel like Jim Ryan was hurting the PlayStation brand. Me personally, that's just my thoughts on it. I felt like he's been very anti-consumer. Yes, I'm not going to take away from the fact that sales are up, numbers are up. That looks great for the shareholders. But as a consumer like me, someone who's been around for the past 30 years, whatever the PlayStation has been, I have been a fan of the PlayStation since the 90s when the first PlayStation first came out. So it wasn't quite 30 years, but I've been a fan of PlayStation from the very start. And I just didn't like what Jim Ryan was doing when it came to some of the games he was greenlighting, some of the marketing, some of the anti-consumer practices that he's been putting out, stuff like raising video games up to $70. He was the one responsible for that. Taking stuff like the PlayStation Portal, which is basically just a Wi-Fi tablet with a controller on it, charging $200, $500 for a PlayStation VR headset. Just so many different anti-consumer things, and that's not even counting, him raising the price of PlayStation Plus. You know, by 30 something percent to have just to be able to play your games online is going to cost you an extra $20 a year. So a lot of those things that Jim Ryan did, I just felt was anti-consumer. And that's not even counting a lot of the games that he was greenlighting and a lot of the games that he wasn't greenlighting. And Jim Ryan, I feel, is, very worthy of the name Lion Crying Jim Ryan, because this guy, in my opinion, he lied about a lot of stuff. He lied about a lot of things, and I think a lot of people kind of forget about that. He said, "Hey, PlayStation 5 is going to have all this power, and you're going to get all these exclusive games." And then when the time came, these games were also being released on the PS4. So, he lied about that. He lied about Call of Duty and the Activision deal with the FTC. He lied about so many different things. But besides him being a proven factual liar, Jim Ryan never really cared about the gamers. He came out in many statements saying, what, gamers don't like older games. And then turns around and makes this PlayStation tier with retro games and doesn't even add retro games to it. Just a bunch of different things that Jim Ryan has done really kind of turned me off from the guy himself. And I actually think him leaving is a massive win for PlayStation and a massive win for the brand, because he was so anti-consumer, raising the price of games, consoles, services, just come out with all these different extra things that he would charge top dollar for, and it wasn't consumer friendly. It was not, it was just anti-consumer no matter how you looked at it. And then when you look at the core of the games, I know PlayStation has a lot of fans when it comes to the game, but you look at the first party games, right? Do you know that Spider-Man is the only first party game coming out from Sony this year? If that was Phil Spencer and the Xbox team, man, they would be getting all types of hate and backlash on it. But some reason, Jim Ryan seems to be getting a pass. Not only that, when you start to look at some of these games that we have gotten on PlayStation over the past, 4 years or so, it's all been the same type of games. We got your Spider-Mans, you got your Last of Us, you got your Horizons, and you got your God of War. And it's basically been those games. I mean, every once in a while, yeah, you're going to get like a Ratchet and Clank, you're going to get like a Returnal, something of that nature. But when it comes to the first party title of PlayStation games, it's always been the same type of games. Like we have a Last of Us, then they do a Last of Us remastered on the PS4, then they do a Last of Us remastered on the PS5. There's rumors of a Horizon remake slash remastered coming out. You had a Horizon and Horizon 2, and it's just so many of the different things that just all kind of feel the same. It was all the open world type gameplay, first person story driven. Like, where's the kill zones? Where's the Resistance? Where's the Jack and Daxters? Where's the Uncharted? Like, where are all these other games that help put PlayStation on the map? And I felt like Jim Ryan really was just focused on a certain type of game, and he just very anti-consumerly just kept putting out the same type of games, remastering them, and to remaster these games and charge $70 is ludicrous. It just goes to show you some of the anti-consumer practices that he made. Now there is a lot of support for Jim Ryan on Twitter. There's some people that that are happy, right? Like Jim Ryan's officially stepping down. Can I have your vote? A lot of people are really supporting Jim Ryan, and then there's like other people that are like, "Peace, man! Like you gone, bro." Like a lot of people did not like Jim Ryan. I was one of the ones that did not like Jim Ryan, but there are people out there that are supporting this guy, and by all means, if you like Jim Ryan and you like the game that he put out, then I'm perfectly understand that. I understand where you're coming from. Me personally, I felt like he was anti-consumer and he was kind of like pushing me off the PlayStation brand. You see this tweet right here. Jim Ryan delivered the PlayStation bangers. No one can deny that hate is crazy. And he's got Returnal, Ghost of Tsushima, Horizon Forbidden West. But Ghost of Tsushima was well in development for years. You can't take too much credit on that. But yeah, there's some people out there supporting him. But hey, to each their own. At the end of the day, if you thought Jim Ryan was doing a fantastic job, then that's your prerogative. No one, you're allowed to think what you want to think. Me, I felt like he was very anti-consumer. He did not care about you. He did not care about me. He did not care about the common person. He kept raising the prices of every single thing, and he got caught lying tons of times. So in the end of the day, I'm personally glad to see Jim Ryan leave. I felt like he was hurting the PlayStation brand, and I'm hoping that PlayStation can now get back to what its dominance was before, back in the PS3, early PS4. Not to say PlayStation isn't still dominant, because it's still the market leader for sure. You would have to be an idiot to deny that PlayStation is still the market leader. But I want to start seeing some of those creative games that I'm used from the PlayStation fan, or from the PlayStation team. I want to see more of those creative games. I want to see those Killzone, those Resistance, those Jack and Daxters. Be more creative with your first party studios, instead of just giving us remasters, remakes, and the same type of games with sequels and so on. Give me more. I want to see that creative PlayStation that I grew up loving, and hopefully with Jim Ryan now gone, we're going to start to get that. But I want to know what you guys think. How do you feel about Jim Ryan now stepping down as CEO of PlayStation? Be sure to leave your comments in the comment box below. Smash that like and subscribe button. And until next time, as always, I'm Robert Storms. Thank you for watching.